Hi everybody, I'm excited. We're starting Parshat Bereshit. That means we're starting the new cycle again of reading of the Torah. And the first idea I want to share with you is based on an essay by Norman Lamb written in 1960. And the parsha talks about that man is created in the image of God, one of the first major stories. What does it mean to be created in the image of a God? And there are many commentaries and many Jewish philosophers wrestle over this idea. But Rabbi Norman Lamb shares with us the Mesilat Yesharim, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Litzato. And he says, being created in the image of the God means that we were given the ability of a will to say yes when it's appropriate, and the ability to say no when it's appropriate. Practice and exercising our free will. And the first mitzvah, commandment, given to humankind was not to eat from a particular tree, from the tree of knowledge. You can eat from the entire garden of trees, but one. And yet that's the failure of man. There are things that we have in our lives that look good to us, feel good to us. And the ability to say no is what ennobles us to be in the image of God. Herman Walk was a famous Orthodox Jewish author. And he was on a ship, and he was invited to sit down with a colleague of his who was also an author who had given up his Judaism. And the man said to Herman, he said, I don't understand, why do you still remain religious? Why do you keep the Shabbat and the laws of kashrut when all of us have kind of forged a new path? We're rebels, we're young, we see the world differently. And Herman Walk says to his colleague, he said, I'm really the true rebel because I say no to a world that doesn't have a Sabbath. I say no to a world that doesn't have a morality given to us by a God. It's interesting that the 10 commandments, 7 of them were negative. It's interesting that Moshe Rabbeinu says no to Paro more often than he says yes. Avram Avinu says no to the world more than he says yes to it. And yet these are our leaders. What do they teach us? They teach us to be truly Jewish. It means to be a rebel. It means that we have the ability to say no to that which is wrong, and that which might even make us feel good, taste good. Say, you know what? I'm practicing my Tselem Elokim, my image of God, my own sense of divinity, by having the power to say no. Sur Meira Va'asei Tov. David HaMelech teaches us, turn away from bad and do good. Not easy. And I don't know why it is that we're hardwired to be attracted to things that are not permitted to us. Mishlei tells us the forbidden waters are the sweetest waters. I'm not sure why we are hardwired that way. But nonetheless, when we have the strength and the internal fortitude to say no to things that we shouldn't participate in, that's when you practice your Tselem Elokim, your image of God. If you like what you hear, pass it on. Shabbat Shalom.